Because at doTERRA, we know the same care and attention, as well as the same commitment to only provide the very best, is not unique to us. They're the same qualities you employ when taking care of those you love the most.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you all. I'm just going to put you on gallery view for a moment and take all your lovely faces in. It's just lovely to see people. Get excited about seeing people these days. Not that I didn't before, but you know, we're not seeing people quite so much as we did before. So great to see all your faces, and great to see you all here. So are you all doing well? Are you all surviving? What are we?
Yes.
Are we in the 4th week now? Is it? It's all like, it all feels quite surreal, doesn't it? But good that we can all get together and, you know, have some positive input this evening in our team call. So good to see more and more people coming in as I'm speaking. So I'm just going to switch over and share my screen and get kicked off with some recognition. And then we've got a really, I'm really looking forward to tonight's call, actually. It's Raining Men. What more could we ask for? Raining Men in a lockdown. Wow, it's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. So, 20th of April 2020. Here we are. So I'm going to share some recognition with you first of all, but before I did that, I wanted to also share with you a few numbers. Those of you that know me well know that I love numbers. I love to I love people, but I also love to do a bit more delving into numbers, because I think that really tells us what's going on. Sometimes people can tell you what's going on and it's not always real, but if you can delve into the numbers, you can sort of start to unravel what really is happening out there. And so there's been lots of talk about, you know, the people sort of changing the way they're having to do business right now, and you know, the impact of that, and whether the impact of that is positive or whether it's being negative to their business. So as I say, I've delved into the numbers to try and sort of get some kind of idea of what is really happening out there. You know, I'm sure you all agree with me, our products have never ever been needed more than they are at this particular time. And the opportunity to give people an income stream working from home has never been needed more than it is needed now. So is that reflecting in the numbers, and are we seeing demand increasing? So let's just have a look at this. Last month, at this same point, 3 weeks into the month, when we did the recognition, we had 12 people in the group that had enrolled over 3 people in the first three weeks of the month. Tonight, you're going to see me recognise 17 people that have enrolled 3 or more people. But what is even more startling is the amount of people that they have enrolled. And of course, these are some that are being enrolled to do the business, and some, of course, that are enrolling just to have the products in their home for them and their families. So last month, of those 12 people, between them, they had enrolled 48 people. Tonight, you're going to see me recognise, of those 17 people, they have enrolled 87 people. So as a percentage, that's an increase of 81 people from the group of our top enrollers. And when you actually look, you know, further sort of down in the numbers at the 2s and the 1s, they're all reflecting that same kind of increase. So the numbers back up what we feel is happening out there. And this is a time that I can't stress enough to you to be engaging with the people in your own circle and outside of your own circle, because they need you. They really need you, and the numbers are showing that people are taking up the opportunity of that need and coming on board with us, either as customers or as advocates. So we need to really continue to be changing lives, sharing the oil, sharing the opportunity, sharing what we know is going to make such a big difference in everyone's lives when they become part of this journey with us. So let's recognise those people and congratulate those people. So 2020 April enrolments month to date. So on 3, congratulations to Mika Lehman, Andrea Hugo, Andrea Lohar, Glenn Hadgraf, Daniel Marshall, Victoria Gotham, Lee Derbyshire and Mary Burgess. Congratulations to you all on 3 enrolments month to date. On 4 enrolments, congratulations to Kirsty Lucius, Janet Ewans and Tanya Joss. And then we move up to 5 enrolments. Congratulations goes to Judith Stadler, Annette Heido and Andrew Boswell. Not sure who that lady is on 8, but we'll congratulate her anyway. And then we'll go to 9. Congratulations to Saskia Bow. And then we jump, not 9, not 10, or 11, 12, 13, 14. My goodness, this lady, I don't know what she's doing. I'm going to catch up with her, because on 19 enrolments month to date, we've got Alison Thomas. So that's absolutely amazing. So we may even speak to Alison about coming on the call another week, which would be great, and sharing with us what she's doing. So I don't think she's on tonight. So, but that's brilliant. Congratulations to all of you. In fact, even if you're not on the screen and you've introduced somebody this month so far, congratulations to you too, because you know the power of one. If you can do it once, you can do it again and again and again, and you can be on the leaderboard. So just keep sharing what we know, just keep sharing the magic. Just to remind you, I'm loving what Lisa Rooney's doing right now over on the Bloom. Oh, actually, this is on doTERRA UK and Ireland, not in the Bloom groups. This is open to all your customers, not just for people building the business, customers as well. Obviously, corporate can't be out and about right now like the rest of us, but Lisa has really done a great job of bringing it online, all this corporate support. So don't know whether any of you went to the yoga today. I popped it on over in the my group for you to do. I think tomorrow's going to be a great one. 1 o'clock, Jonathan Cook, who's in Nathan and Rebecca's group. Some of you may know Jonathan, is going to be doing oils for your pets. And we get asked a lot, don't we, about oils and pets. So that will be a good one at 1 o'clock. They are recorded as well, so if these times are not good, and I will share them on the group afterwards. Lunch with Lisa on Wednesday. Don't know whether you saw the Rebecca Bowles Science Part 1 last week. If you're into science, you would have loved it. If you're not into science, I'm sure you still loved it. But yeah, very, very sciencey. And she's picking up Part 2 on Thursday, so that will be great. And then it's Feel Good Friday on Friday. So lots of good stuff to keep your customers as well. You know, these things are on, they're done for you, and they can support your business while you're continuing to grow your business. They can keep your customers captured and inspired with all that's going on in doTERRA. So don't forget to be promoting that through your groups, because it's a really, really great resource for you. Okay, are these events on the Facebook page through Zoom? Yeah, they actually, if you go to the doTERRA UK and Ireland, if you can see at the top there, then how Lisa does it, she does it through Zoom, but she goes live. So you actually only need to be on the Facebook group. You don't have to actually go into Zoom. Although she uses Zoom, she actually goes then live to the Facebook group through Zoom. So literally you just need to send your customers to doTERRA UK and Ireland, and you'll see the live events going on in there. Great. So I am going to be handing over now to the men. Because I can't believe this, that men are going to take over tonight. How can that be so? Andy, are you there?
Yep, just unmuting. Evening, everybody. But thank you very much indeed, Lisa. Yeah, we've got a great evening lined up for you. And I'm just going to share my screen just briefly for one slide as well. I think really started last Thursday. I was going to do a different presentation for today. It was my turn to do the presentation, I thought. And it was interesting for those of you that are around. After Lisa did a fantastic presentation about supporting the immune system on Thursday evening, everybody was chatting there. Trust me, for quite a while. I was there for a good 20 minutes. It's true, it's true. And I noticed I was flicking through the gallery and I was the only guy there. I thought, well, this is fine, nothing wrong with that. But there's some men that bring something certainly to the table. So, you know, certainly we thought about different titles, but we decided on It's Raining Men for this evening. Wasn't exactly sure what to call it. Like I said, following last Thursday's training. It could have been The Two Daves. I guess that could have been another title that we could have worked with. I guess that would have worked. Because this evening we've got David Miller and Dave Williams. I think, I'm not sure, Dave, if it should be David Miller and David Williams, but anyway, I always refer to him as Dave, who have been doing brilliantly within our business. So there are other men that are doing it as well. But whether you're male or female, I'm sure you're going to get just as much value out of this. So just thought what would be really good is to come on, get to know some people, get some tips, find out what these guys are doing as well. So hopefully you can take some of that and that will help you with your business as well, of course. So without further ado, I will put it, I think I'm going to put us on, let's just change the view here. Yeah, we'll do it. So I'm just looking how I'm going to record it, because however I do it on here is how it will record. And I think probably we'll start with bringing on David Miller. Are you there, David?
I am, Andy. Good evening. Good evening, everybody.
Excellent. Great to see you. So probably a brilliant, good place to start as any is, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, and, you know, how you actually sort of got involved with doTERRA? Just tell us, you know, a little bit in your own words, what you're doing with it.
Yeah, sure, Andy. Much appreciated the opportunity to maybe share and maybe help a few people. If I help one person, I'm very happy, to be fair. That's the end goal, isn't it, to be fair?
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm partner of Angela. Now, I've locked the door so she can't come in, so it's my room. I can say what I like about her.
Exactly. It's all about the men this evening.
But yeah, we've been together now for 15 years, and we just get on so well. And to be fair, you know, doTERRA was a very natural fit, as it turned out as well, because although my background generally, if I go back many years ago, was with local government, housing manager. That's exciting, isn't it? You know, but I never, that wasn't what I wanted to do. It was never ever what I wanted to do. And when I first came across network marketing many years ago, I won't go into how many years ago, but it kind of changed my life overnight, completely overnight. And whereas before I might have, you know, if I was, and I'm still the same to many respects now, to be fair. If I'm in a room, you'll probably find me one of the quieter persons. You know, you won't find me life of soul and jumping about and telling jokes and that. I'll absorb things in. And in a work environment, I wasn't comfortable one little bit, and I could see things were changing. But when I saw network marketing for the first time, I just got a whole different feel about potential for a new life. And that's what's really driven everything since then, my way of thinking. Through the training and support in different companies, I've grown a lot personally, so I do urge everybody to take the advantage of personal development. And then you begin to think that there's better possibilities for life.
And what was it particularly that attracted you to doTERRA, would you say?
Well, you know, what attracted me to doTERRA was I was in another business previous, which like some other people around, and I was loving that. I had a fantastic team, we were doing really well. And then things were going a bit downhill, things completely outside our control as well. And that was the difficult point about it. I've not been averse to a challenge, but when there's things that are taken away from you, from all the efforts you put in, it's soul destroying. I'd have to say that, almost soul destroying. And I saw a guy called Neil Young, you might have heard of, make a bit of a jump, and a guy called Andy Boswell making a jump. I thought, what are they up to? So I actually shadowed those people for best part of 2 months, because I wasn't, at that point in time, it wasn't easy to walk away from what we built. I had a great team there. We were all fighting as much as we could to get there. And eventually I realized that when I looked at doTERRA and I rang up Neil and I says, I've got to join you. And because Neil was the person I always wanted to work with anyway. So that was the real attraction. It was attraction of finding something that I think could work for me. I could put the skills and background to, and also the fact of the people I was joining with. That was really important. So to be fair, I didn't know anything about essential oils. I joined for the business side of it, and I joined for the people. I joined with the people because I trusted, even though, you know, those people, you know, were going to be developing new systems and nothing in place, because the intention was to drive it online. I knew they'd find a way, and I had that trust and belief to make that decision to move. Quite simple.
I know when I spoke to Lisa before we got involved, and we weren't officially involved when I was initially speaking to Lisa about it, and it become so obvious to me. You know, you were looking at everything compared to what we come from to compared to where we were going to be going, that it just become ridiculous not to make that move. I'm sure you felt the same as well at that time. So what rank have you actually hit in doTERRA as such, and what does that actually mean in forms of structure for people that may be sort of joining us for the first time, who may not be as aware of what that actually means?
Well, we've achieved the rank of silver. We achieved that for the first time in July 2019. The structure is basically helping other people achieve their ranks. It's what we love about doTERRA. It's not about you, it's about the people you help, but obviously it's the direction and the leadership that you show to make that happen. So it's basically helping 3 separate people who you have personal enrollments of, who have achieved the elite level, which is 3,000 OV, 3,000 overall volume in any given month. Now, you know, that's something it takes over time. You build it in stages. You're looking to find the people that you can work with all the time. And again, that may change as well as people find their feet. And sometimes people come out in the woodwork, which is another great thing. It's not, you don't have to be special to start with. In fact, you don't have to be special. You just have to follow a plan, to be fair. But you're looking for people who are kind of following, are going to do the actions. And sometimes it can be somebody who's been quiet and just chugging along for a while as a customer. And then they find the spirit. Then they find some belief. Then they get the thing of, I can do this. And it's encouraging and supporting them to do that. So that's what the silver level is. Finding and helping 3 separate people in separate legs that you're personally enrolled for with achieve the elite level, and then by default you become a silver.
And that can help, obviously. It does make a big difference to income, doesn't it? It can certainly jump when you get to that particular level. I mean, when you work in your business, are you doing it part-time hours, full-time hours, or how many hours do you put each week into working your doTERRA business?
Well, I'm a sponge. I'm a sponge. I can't stop thinking about what we do and where we're going, and what the next information is, how we can help, and how information you can help other people with. So it's my life, Andy. It's quite simple, and just to see things happening is brilliant. That's the rewards for it. But so I don't do it part-time. I don't do it full-time. I do it all the time.
I know what you mean, you know, and sometimes it might be just a few hours. You might do a few hours one day, but other days you do a lot more, depending on what's needed.
That's why you get the flexibility, you know, and it doesn't mean to say you can't have in your mind, and you know, you come up with some new ideas and some new initiatives, and you think, how can I make that work, and how does that work? And it's just part of life. It just becomes part of life. I don't think it's a job. I don't think it is work. I just love it.
Brilliant. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? You know I had a certain thought process about doTERRA. I'm famed for saying this. Well, Peter Rear always mentions it, that Andy Boswell said, you know, I just thought it was all about women hugging trees and smelling lovely stuff, you know, at the start, which is what my preconception was. What did you have any friends and family that had certainly preconceptions about what you were doing, that you approached, and how did you deal with that?
I never asked them in terms of what they felt. I just went out and made it obvious what I was doing. Yeah. And, you know, and then in terms of the early days, I'd look around and I'd message people and I'd ask people if they had any ailments. So, like, you know, relatives, friends, I would ask them, and we'd give them the samples out in. And I didn't ask them what they thought about me. And to be fair, I think because they knew the type of person I was anyway, you know, nothing that could say would have made any difference anyway. So I just got out there and spoke to people, showed them what we've got, showed them an opening for both the oils and potentially the business, and just got on with things around that. I didn't really worry about what other people think was irrelevant. And the most important thing was the people who came along or took advantage.
Do you have a particular structure to, I know you were saying obviously you work it all the time or it's there, but do you have any particular structure to your day? What do you find yourself doing most days to sort of push your business forward?
Well, each morning, the first thing I'm looking at is these things that may have happened overnight, because obviously we're in a business there that is worldwide. There's things happening. I'm looking to catch up on new initiatives. I'm very much lead generation focused. So I'm making sure that I've got a list that's already there for me, the people I need to be working with to help them, the people I need to contact. So that's all prepared, and I'll also send out any information requests. I'm also doing a list of follow-ups. So I guess, to be fair, the morning tends to be taken up very, very actively. The morning tends to be the most active part, and then I can maybe take a bit of a breather, and then I can start seeing things a little bit. And there's always something new I'm looking to put into place as well, all the time. So I'll make a goal, right? The things that you meant to do last week, in other words, getting around to. So it's the key things that if you don't do, they just get swept over and you don't make that move. So I'm very focused on, if there's something I think is need to be done, I'll make sure you get done. It might not get done today, but I'm not comfortable in my mind. I'm not happy until I get that situation done.
And how many people do you have in your team right now? Do you know approximately how many?
Yeah, it's around about 200. I've got a fairly tight team, 200 people on average, and it can be different people, but about half of them order each month.
Good.
Yeah, so it's a fair percentage. We've got a good spirit, and obviously people who enjoy use the oils and they're taking part in the education and the flow, and they're making it part of their life.
Fantastic. And I know that you went out to doTERRA's International Conference in Utah last year as well, and I'm sure you picked up some things there. I'm not sure if you've got anything you want to share at all from that particular event. Will there be any pictures or any advice?
Yeah, well, I have seen, as you mentioned that. I only noticed that little thing in brackets just about 20 minutes ago, so I'll put something together very quickly. But yeah,
we're supposed to make this look like it's off the cuff, not that I've asked you to put any pictures on there, but thank you for mentioning the brackets.
But anyway, but yeah, but we've always loved events. We've always loved events. Whether what company we're in, we just love the events, and there seems to be nothing bigger than doTERRA Global Convention in Utah. So we talked about it previously. We'd been to the London European one. We were planning to go to Dusseldorf, and then we really did thought, let's just push the boat out and go to Utah. So it was a big commitment, but we made that in advance when the tickets first came out on special. When the very first day they were released, we were there getting our tickets booked, and we planned it over there. We didn't know how we were going to fly, we didn't know we were going to stay, but that was the goal, and it was absolutely fantastic. So yes, what I've done, I've just pulled out very quickly some slides I put together, some photos I put together, just give people a feel. And it was great. Also, I was trying to find some photos of Margaret and Keith, because we met up with Margaret. Hi, Margaret. When we were there as well. That was a great experience. We'd never met them before, but we went up for a couple of meals, met them at the events. It was great. So this is outside what's called the Vivint Arena. This is where they hold it now. This is the home of the basketball team. So it holds 21,000. It's too big, it's too small to hold everybody that wants to go. So they've got another 15,000 in other parts. So they do it twice, which is great. This is like standing outside, getting pictures outside here. I won't go into these particular slides here about that. This is our swag bag. Okay, so you also won't see just one rosal there. You will see two, because why get one when you can get two? Because Angela loves her rosal. But then also, you know, we did at the very end. You can see these the backing chairs. I was determined to get some of these off the backs of chairs before we left. We've got our other special oils here. We've got our tickets there. Our bags, which which are fantastic. The T-shirt, which Angela wears all the time now. So there's some nice things to be taken away from it. This is like a very good couple of pictures of the around the place here. So this is like the new manufacturing centre, which has just opened. And I was just reading on the leadership seminar, they're just talking about how that's working and seeing some videos about that, which is great. It's phenomenal. Okay, we went around the clinic, which is Prime Meridian. So we toured that as well, seeing all of what's happening in there, which is the combined combined healthcare centre, which was great. That was a great tour, and also went and toured around the head offices as well. I won't club through these here. So yeah, the Prime Meridian Clinic outside David Sterling's office. He wasn't sitting in there waiting for us, unfortunately, but never mind. But we toured around all the head office, so you can see exactly where they are. It's all open space. It's a great environment. And then around the lab, this amazing size distiller. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Nice and relaxed in the lounge. Outside waiting for recognition for silver. So meeting some of the executives. Okay, like David Hill here. Pictures with Emily Wright. That was very special. Yeah, in the ranks. And then next thing was a crossing stage for recognition, which was a tremendous experience. What an atmosphere. Okay, and then the gala event as well, and you can just see the list of all the diamonds that were being recognised, all the blue diamonds, all the presidential diamonds, and even a double presentation diamond. So that was a fantastic evening in itself as well. And there was a lady got across stage here. Goodness me! And if you saw her story, and she wasn't even expected to be around because of a health issue, but she did. She went diamond across the stage there. Absolutely fantastic. And that was it again, going across stage as silver. What an atmosphere.
How many people were there? About 38,000, is it something like that?
Well, what it is, in that arena, the Vivid Arena, it holds about 21,000.
Yeah.
And then they've got the actual convention centre, which holds another 15. So you're talking 36,000 in total to see that event live. Absolutely
brilliant. So what motivates you each day to get up and build your doTERRA business?
Life, quite simply. A zest for life, a zest to want to get on, a zest for the future, a zest for my family, a zest for helping people, a zest for getting back and way exceeding anything we've ever achieved before. And I wake up excited every morning, and that's before I see Angela. So this is life.
Yeah.
Part of it. It's I don't have anything. I've got lots of goals, lots of big things, but it's just been about life and just enjoying it. And
do you have any particular favourite oils or products that you use?
Well, if I say favourite, I don't have any ailments, fortunately. If I could talk about one oil that does me the best, it's actually my oregano. So I always tell the story about my oregano because I get ear infections. It's just been a part of my life. It's like a chronic situation. Nothing I can do about, but in other channels and stuff like that. And that's made a huge difference to my life in that I used to go to antibiotic sprays and everything. And when I found out about oregano being a natural antibiotic, I started using that. So I would put it just a little bit behind my ear. It does tingle, as you know. I did run around the room for 5 minutes before I realised, before I got all into it first time. That's okay. But I'll take that when it gets tender. I'll also put a drop into my veggie cap as well with other ones I take every day as well, just for 5 days or so, just to kill the bugs on the inside. What I mean by that is I get far less instances. It doesn't get anything like what it was. I never lose my hearing. Andrew talks about me being deaf anyway, but that's another matter. But it's just made a huge difference to my life. So that's my favourite oil, my oregano.
Fantastic. So where do you visualise both yourself and doTERRA in the future? Where do you see yourself being in your lifestyle? If you keep going with this, which I know you will, with this brilliant business.
Well, diamond's going to be done. It's simple. It's strange, I don't have a goal to be blue diamond, and that's not because I don't think it's possible. But my goal when I first saw network marketing was residual income, a residual income that could be secure. And with doTERRA, I see if you build a strong diamond business and you build diamonds, then you've got a solid future. And that's the most important for us. Now, what difference that makes to us, it means Angela can get out from a job. Angela works full time for the NHS. She's on the HR side. You know, you see to hear the stories behind the scenes about what's happening, you know, in organisation and the impact it's having on the people there. So to be able to get her off there would be a huge difference like that. So that's a major goal for me as well. But it's been able to travel. It's been able to go places that we've always wanted because we like traveling around like that. It's the security, it's the lifestyle. Angela likes nice things. That's why she's got 2 roses. That's why she's got 2 floral kits. Okay, okay. She needs keeping. All right, and she's only just started. I know she has, and I want to let her. I want to let her loose. I want to let her become the person that I know she can really be. And that's you know. So these are the things that drive me every single day.
Fantastic. And just finally, have you got maybe a few tips, 1 or 2 tips you can pass out to anybody that you think will really help them for building a doTERRA business?
Well, it's really important to want something. And not just want something a little, want something so much that it means so much that you'll go through the daily. There's this phrase, isn't it? It's about becoming master of the mundane. Master of the mundane.
Yeah,
I love that phrase because it's the daily activities we do. It's the little things we do every single day. But you need something to keep you going. And you know, so have a real goal to be what you want from it. Understand that you're gonna learn along the way. You can become the person that you need to be to build it. Everybody single can, and just be persistent and consistent. Never give up. Never give up. No matter what your goals are, they don't have to be massive. They just have to be important to you. And if you've got that within you, and you love the oils, and you love the team, and you love the part of it, you can't fail. You just got to keep going and never stop. Never give in.
brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us, David. Really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. I know it is busy as well because I know you're building your future. So thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. If you want to pop yourself on, you've done it already. Absolutely brilliant. So there's David number 1. Done. And then we've got David number 2. So David Williams, are you there?
I am. You know, my email at work is even David Williams 2.
Written in the stars, David, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
how are you? You well?
Yeah, super good. Getting better. The walls are closing in, but that's not too bad.
Yeah, I hear you've been busy this evening. I mean, I mentioned earlier, because you tell everybody else what you were telling me earlier, just before we get started, about how many people you had on, because you would, tell me if I'm wrong, you were hosting a class this evening?
Yeah, I was hosting the class. I normally do sort of a small Monday one, starting at 6 o'clock UK time. Normally I'll get about 3 or 4 people on that I've invited. I don't know what happened today. I had 19 people. Not all of them turned up, mind you, but I was like, oh no, how am I going to follow these up?
How many did you actually have turn up?
9. So
that's pretty good. 50% you can work with.
Yeah, although, you know, while we was, just starting the class, I had people saying, oh, on WhatsApp, I'm trying to download Zoom, it wasn't happening, I'll have to reschedule. And so out of those, I think I had 4 people actually reschedule as well.
Well, it's often the way, so even if they don't come on, and that's why it's so important. That's a good tip for everybody, by the way. Follow up. Don't just ignore the ones that don't come onto your class, because there's often decent reasons. Well, sometimes there's decent reasons anyway why they haven't actually come onto the class anyway. So
I was kind of getting a bit stressed. One lead after another lead. It's a good thing to be stressed out about. But,
did you manage all your follow-ups?
I'd done 2 follow-ups. Somebody needed to redo for tomorrow, and other people said, right, let's catch up later, because they knew I was coming on here as well.
Of course. See, that's how much he values everybody coming on. He's even put his follow-ups on hold. Brilliant. I certainly appreciate that. I'm sure everybody else does as well. So a lot of similar questions, I guess, obviously from David 1 to David 2, but I'm sure there's going to be different answers as well. So again, at the start, good place to start is tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, okay. So I think, I was born at a very young age. And from there, I think when I left school, the only level I had was probably a spirit level. That was about it. Did go to college, and when I left college, I think all the dropouts got the jobs. So I ended up joining the Air Force. So I joined the Air Force when I was 17 and a half, approaching 18. airframe technician, you know, hydraulics, mechanical stuff. You know, everybody says, "Oh, were you a pilot?" No, nothing so exciting. And I was in the Air Force for about 12 years. So I came out of the Air Force just, 30th birthday back in 96, back in the 90s. And from there, got into the oil and gas industry. Yeah, so different sort of oil altogether. Started off in the workshop, you know, hands-on, making kind of things, and showed an interest in becoming a project engineer. So the boss at the time said, well, you know, why don't you come up to the office? If you like it, yeah, we can put you on a couple of courses. So I did like it. They put me on my HNC course and ended up becoming like senior project engineer with all hydraulic type of stuff. All over the oil and gas, you know, going offshore and stuff like that. And then around about 2000, it must have been, I ended up moving from East Anglia up to Aberdeen because I went self-employed. So started up own limited company, just myself, basically contracting around the oil and gas industry, which it was good times, you know, oil price was up, you know, the income was pretty good, you know, that kind of time. I think at the peak there, it was like £75 an hour, but at the lows, it was like £20 an hour. So it's always up and down, depending what the oil price was doing. Then, well, back in the 90s, just before I left the Air Force, I did try, well, I got introduced to network marketing, you know, through Amway. I think, you know, most people have heard of that. Gave it a go, but I found it was all very suit and tie and get out there and sell laundry detergent and that kind of thing. You know, and somebody bought a laundry detergent and that would probably last them 6 months. You know, you couldn't go back knocking on the same door.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. I could see the potential there, but I think everybody was doing it in the Air Force. Yeah, and it was kind of, it got itself a kind of a bad reputation because, oh, not another one coming knocking at the door, that kind of thing. So that kind of died off a little bit when I left the Air Force. Like I say, went into the oil and gas industry. Then through that, so I've been in Aberdeen now for about 16 years. So self-employed for, well, yeah, 16 years I was self-employed. And then last year, because the oil and gas industry took a downturn, I took a staff job. You know, so I've kind of been doing that now for the past year. You know, so I've got a boss again. Which,
so you work your business very much on a part-time basis then?
Well, what, the doTERRA business?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I pack as much as I can into the day. So right now, I would say, well, right now I'm working from home, but generally on a normal day, you know, I'd be up like 5:20 in the morning, getting ready. It's like an hour's journey into Aberdeen. Start work at 7 o'clock. Because I start early, I can finish early, but normally I'll get in there like probably about 15 minutes early and then follow up the leads that I've had come in, you know, during the night. Just send out the WhatsApp, the email, and then over my lunch as well, trying to arrange the phone call to give them a call over lunch. And then because I'm finishing at like 3:30, another hour to get home, and then it's straight onto, so more leads, following up, checking out everything's going that way as well, jumping onto the classes, giving the classes, you know. So I would say, yeah, I kind of work doTERRA probably, I say 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at lunchtime on a normal day.
Yep. And
then when I get home, 4:30 through till, I don't know, 9:30, something like that.
And I guess most successful people as well do that. Certainly at the start, you know, they're running it alongside something else, and it's fitting it into those nooks and crannies of the day. You know,
Yeah.
like I say, lunchtime, breakfast, you know, just before we start work, or break time,
Well,
type of thing.
Even sitting on the toilet. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Dave. Visualization is something that we always recommend in network marketing, and I invite you all to think of that moving forward.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I did learn to sleep a lot faster as well, so you get more hours.
Well, possibly so. Okay, so what was it about doTERRA that attracted you?
You know, I through, not through network marketing, but just through networking in general, I got to know Neil and Peter. Right, so we were huge, you know, sort of respect for what they were doing and the kind of the entrepreneur side. And again, it wasn't network marketing that they were involved with. Well, they were, but I didn't know that they were involved with, say, their previous company at the time. So got to know them. We was looking at other different things, and that kind of fell flat with that. But we kind of kept in contact. And then Neil was started to talk about, doTERRA. And I thought, never heard of it. So after a while, I thought, well, if Neil's doing it, then maybe there's something there. So I think this is where David's path and my path were kind of going like this, and then we kind of collided. Because just like we thought, if Neil's seen something, they're doing it. Okay, there's got to be something there. So that's when I said to Neil, okay, what's it about? At that time, early days, he sent me some videos. Look at this and order this kit. All right, I'll do that.
It sounds like Neil. But what rank have you actually hit in doTERRA?
Hit silver. What was that? Month before last.
Yeah, relatively recently, wasn't it? So, and I saw a post that you put out a couple of days ago, and anybody that's not connected on social media with Dave, what was that saying about again? How many people have you got in your team now?
That was 200. Right? Well, it was 200 there, but I mentioned about sort of sharing the screen. I'll just bring this up actually, just so you can see desktop 2. Here we go. So. Okay, so let's move some stuff around. So that, if you can see it, can you see that okay?
See that fine.
Okay, so that's really how my team's looking at the moment. And as of just when I checked there, that was, it does come down here a little bit, 202 people.
Fantastic. And that's all done spare time as well. So it just goes to prove, you've heard Dave's story about what can be done, spare time, not part-time, but really working it. That's the key, I guess, isn't it? So, when you are working it, do work your business.
Yeah, I've got some fantastic builders down here. Leah over there, Shantae over here, Gaynor.
Leah's on here this evening as well, and I know that we're speaking with Leah. I believe she got somebody on from Lisa's presentation. So it's a big team effort with everything. It's absolutely fantastic to see how everything's sort of fallen together for you, or what you made it happen.
I class it more like a family than a team.
Yeah.
I would say everybody is just so friendly, and that's the bonus side of things as well. We're all there to help each other.
Would you say how many hours have you actually worked out? How many hours you actually do put into your business each week, spare time?
Remember, I haven't got young kids and stuff like that, but I would say on average, 25 maybe.
Great, yeah, which is
like that.
Good amount.
So it's almost like having another job, really, but it's more enjoyable.
And as I'm sure you've heard the saying before, it's like working hard for yourself, or hard for a boss for 40 years, or working hard for yourself for 3 to 5 years, and seeing that residual income really come through.
Right. Yeah.
So, so you didn't have any experience with essential oils before joining? Nothing at all?
I always say when I'm doing my class, I was one of those people that went to the high street health food store. I would pick up a bottle of essential oil, just have a smell and go, oh, I like that smell, and bought the burner. And that was it for me. I thought, okay, that's all they are. Like Peter says, I thought they were just kind of fluffy things that people that knit woolly jumpers, wear flip-flops and hug.
Well, you got that from me.
So, that was you, was it? Yeah. There we go.
It was just true. It was true.
It is. No disrespect to anybody that wears woolly jumpers and flip-flops and stuff, but that's the general consensus out there.
Yeah, definitely. But it's not 100% true, obviously. But
no, that's right.
It certainly wasn't for me anyway.
I can't admit.
Did you have any? I know you do quite a lot on social media as well. Did you have any reactions from friends and family when you started with this? Bearing in mind your preconception, from other people that you know.
Well, I like I say, back in the days, it was Amway, and then I tried like a diet coffee one, and then I tried a cryptocurrency one, and then I tried a food one. So at that point, everybody's, not another one. Yeah.
One's good. Look funny when you get a millionaire or something like that, But,
pretty much. Yeah. So I would say, as far as my close knit sort of relatives and stuff like that, they weren't sort of over supportive. I mean, my parents, they used some oils, and that was probably about it. Although, my sister did join and use the oils, and I helped her build a team. But she's there. But again, it's kind of helping her. on that side as well. So
I know what you mean. So what sort of activities do you find yourself doing when you're building in the nooks and crannies of the day? What activities do you do?
Constantly checking how the leads are going. Yeah, so if I don't get any leads come in for a day, I'm thinking, what's happened? Is my advert been rejected or something like that? And sometimes I'll have a look, and I've found out that actually I've set a budget on my ads and I've reached the budget, so it's not running.
Yeah.
Okay, so reset the budget.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. So constantly monitoring that.
Sometimes it goes quiet, doesn't it? Sometimes it just goes quiet for a day or two, then all of a sudden it goes bang and kicks in again.
What I do find though, what I was doing at the weekends, you know, when we was all not on lockdown and stuff like that, everybody's at home. I used to double the budget on my ads because people are like, oh, you know, what am I going to do? Okay, jump on the internet, see what's about. But right now, I've not doubled the budget. Everybody's at home, and on average, right now, I'm getting like 22 leads a day. You know,
excellent. So, is there anything
Yeah.
particularly motivates you to get up and build your doTERRA business each day? What is it for you?
Just getting that extra step, that extra person in the team, you know, that extra step towards the goal of, you know, establishing a good, let's say, gold business, then, you know, heading for platinum, that sort of stuff. Yeah. Because I want to be in a position where I don't have to rely on going to work every day. Again, when I was contracting, it was great. You go to work, put your invoice in, that kind of stuff. They pay you money. But then when your contract finished, instead of spending time enjoying your time off, you'd be looking around for the next contract. You know, so you never really had a holiday. Whereas when you're building a residual income like this, you know, you get to that point, you know, every day's a holiday.
Definitely. I mean, what would you say your favourite oil or products are from the doTERRA range?
I would say that my go-to oil is pretty much balance. You know, when loads of things are coming in, when all these leads are coming in and you're following up, and then, oh no, you follow up one lead and you've got another two coming in and you feel yourself sinking, then I'll get the balance out and just kind of, that's it, calms you down. I would certainly say my most used product though is the Lifelong Vitality every day, without a doubt. Brilliant. And the story behind that is, back in 2002, I was very much into motorbikes and stuff like that. I got wiped out, ended up smashing up my hip. They pinned it all together and something called a vascular necrosis set in where the hip started to die. 18 months later, they gave me a full metal hip. But I was, you know, you're talking 2002, got the hip 2004, so it's a while ago now. And I was young to get a hip replacement. But because it was caused through trauma, I'd always suffered from chronic pain. They put me on tramadol, slow release morphine. I ended up going to the chronic pain clinic and they were injecting in the nerves where they stick the needle in and they go fishing. And when you go through the roof, they go, oh, found it. Then inject that. And that would work for, you know, a few weeks, but the appointments were like 9 months apart. So I said, oh, you know, don't bother. And then when I started using the Lifelong Vitality, when I joined it, in fact, when I joined, the Lifelong Vitality was the 200-point promotion, a free pack of LLV.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, okay, let's give it a go. But yeah, since I've started taking that, once it got into my system, I can honestly say I've never had a painkiller for my leg.
Fantastic.
I can't run marathons unless I would just want to go small left-hand circles. But, you know, yeah, absolutely brilliant.
And where do you sort of visualize, you know, your doTERRA future? What do you imagine it's going to be like, or what not imagine, what are you planning it's going to be like, you know, in 5 years time, 10 years time from now?
Just enjoyment, really. You know, again, working with such, you know, fantastic people as well, but be able to go on holiday and know that I've still got that income coming. You know, I'm not tied to 28 days a year holiday.
Yeah, just go when you like, and I think that's the key, isn't it? I know a lot of people thought in the past that success is plenty of money. I know plenty of people, you know, even Lisa as well, you know, who was on, obviously remunerated very well from doTERRA, but one of the main things is having the time to enjoy it, spend it with people and spend the time that you want. Doing what you want. So I think the ideal scenario is plenty of time and plenty of money, which most people can't really balance. literally through their lives,
Yeah.
can they? So, so that's definitely one. So, just in finishing, really, what do you know? I asked David. David one the same question. Have you got any good tips that you can pass on to anybody for that? Certainly, whether they're new or experienced, that are watching on here this evening, to sort of help them with their doTERRA future.
Okay, so I mean, we've got that system in place, right? And it is a simple system. People do complicate it. You know, sometimes you've got to just regather your thoughts and think, right, back to basics. What am I doing wrong? You go back to basics, and then you find you've got your focus, you know, again on that. But also lead generation. Yeah, it's your bloodline. You need to have leads coming in, otherwise, who are you going to talk to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So even, I mean, at the moment, to say I've put the budget. I'm running through an ad campaign for £3 a day in South Africa. Those leads are coming in literally at 13 pence a lead. My UK one is £3 a day, and it wasn't performing very well. On average, I'd get maybe 1 lead a day, sometimes none, sometimes 2 the day after. But it was a different picture. So I thought, right, okay, well, let's use the same image that I used from a South African one, but instead of the South African flag, I'll change it to the Union Jack. And literally today I've had 6 leads come in. I changed that yesterday. You know, so it's like, yeah, the image matters. And it isn't of a bottle of oil. You know, it's just a life image rather than a you know, inanimate
image. Yeah, I mean, there was a guy I knew very well called Richard in our previous network that we were in. He had a phrase which said, and sometimes it's just these simple little phrases that give the truth. He said, "The person who gets the most leads wins."
Yeah,
and that's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, you've got your comfort zones. Everybody's got a comfort zone, you know, but you've got to stretch it. If you don't stretch it, how are you going to develop?
Definitely.
You know, so I mean, I never thought that I'd ever, you know, be doing online classes, you know, and now I'm kind of hosting trainings and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I know, I can relate to that, definitely. So,
yeah,
absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really, really appreciate it. Both Davids. And by the way, now, I'm not sure if you're aware, since the Zoom has been updated, most of you should have a little button in the bottom corner or on the bottom of your screen that says reactions. I don't know if you know if you can use that. If you click reactions, you can either put a thumbs up or a clap. So if you enjoyed what Dave did, then you better show, you can try that out now and see if you can actually get a clap comes up over the top of where your picture is. So let's just change the view there. So you should be able to, there we go. Yeah, getting used to it. Most of you are anyway. So the rest of you can work it out later. Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. Just before I leave you and pass you back over to Lisa, just a reminder that we have our regular team, that everybody, Lisa's and our team, more than welcome to, or anybody, one that's on here for that matter, on Tuesday at 7 p.m, Thursday at 11 a.m, and Saturday at midday. Okay, that's at learntheessentials.info. So everybody's welcome to go on those. Tuesday at 7 p.m, Thursday at 11 a.m, and Saturday at midday. And I will pass you back over to Lisa.
Brilliant. Are you sure I'm allowed to come back in? I'm not a man.
You're finished now. Well, we're finished now.
It stopped raining men.
It's raining men. That's the end of it.
Brilliant training. That was fantastic. Thank you so much. The thing that I mean, as I was listening to you, it reminded me of the quote that when you love what you do, you'll never ever work another day in your life. And it's obvious that that's where you're coming from, both of you. You're just loving what you're doing, and startling sort of to think that when you first were introduced to doTERRA, you knew nothing about the oils, and now you couldn't live your life without them in your life. So amazing. So thank you for that. So just want to leave you with a couple of thoughts and talk to you actually about next week. We have been, as a family, each Saturday night since lockdown, we've been doing a quiz, and it has ended up getting sort of quite hilarious actually as the weeks have gone by. And it got me thinking, do you know what? It would be really good for us to do something on the same sort of lines as this, and have a bit of a doTERRA social, but with some training in it as well. So there's actually something that you're actually going to get out of it. So next week, it is my training next week, isn't it, Andy? Yeah. Next week, I thought what we would do is have a quiz night with a bit of a difference. Okay, so for a start, I think we're now all got so used to sort of getting up and keeping our pajamas on the bottom, and then just sort of like dressing up the top. Well, I might be speaking for myself, but I thought it'd be actually nice to sort of like dress up. I don't mean you have to get your ball gowns out, but for us to actually have, you know, all our cameras on. So I noticed that there's a few people, probably most people tonight, haven't put their cameras on, and it's probably because I'm guessing that you've been used to working from home and you probably haven't done your hair or your makeup. That's right, isn't it, Andy?
I can relate.
You didn't do your makeup tonight, did you?
My hair.
I noticed. So I thought next week we could actually have this sort of like social party night, and everybody could commit to turning their cameras on. And if you can, come on a laptop or a screen so that we can put it onto gallery view and like have everyone on your screen all at the same time. That's the first thing. The second thing, it'd be really great if you could bring 2 questions each, and the answers to them would also be really great if you got the answers. 2 questions each, all around sort of doTERRA. So it's going to be educating people. So 2 questions that you know the answers to, and have 2 in reserve as well. So have 4 questions ready, but 2 in reserve. So what we're going to do is each person will get the chance to ask their questions and give the answers. But of course, as we go around the room, because I don't know what the questions are going to be, we might have some duplication. If everybody's got, you know, what does doTERRA mean? Gift of the earth is the question. We'll be having multiple questions, so just have a couple in reserve. So bring in 4 questions with your 2 preference questions, and we'll just have a social. There will be prizes, there'll be lots of passing of information from the questions and the answers, and we'll just have a good time and see how it goes. Do you like the idea of that? Are you all up for that? You can say yes, Lisa. I take it we're not getting any yeses because people are muted.
Yeah.
Yes, Lisa.
We'll be there.
Thank you. You're with me. Brilliant.
I'm up for it.
Brilliant. Up for it. We're going to have a great night. It's going to be a great time to just, because we're not having that time to socialise properly. So we're going to just make it a great evening. So that's going to be next Monday night, same place, online at 8:30. Tell everyone about it, and we're just going to have lots of fun, and I'll make sure there's loads of nice prizes as well for top point scoring and etc, etc. So it might get a little bit competitive too. Nobody's competitive out there, is there, on our team?
No.
Okay, so I'm just going to leave you with this thought. You know, we're all having to think of different ways right now to approach our business, to approach people, to talk to people, to just, you know, live our life in a little bit of a different way to we've ever known before. But it isn't the strongest of species that survives, nor is it the most intelligent, but it's the one that's most responsive to change. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to find the ways of coping with this. I want you all to stay safe, look after your families. You know, that's the most important thing that's to come out of this, that we all get through this together, the other side, and adapt to the situation in right now. And we'll come out stronger. Actually, we'll come out stronger because you know, there's lots of things that are going on that are really not great, but there's also lessons and there's things that are going to come out of this that are actually going to be positive for us as well. So we're going to take those things, we're going to find within our business the way to respond to that change, and we're going to go on and be stronger than ever. So I hope you've had a great night. Thank you again to the guys. We let you take the lead for once. I actually wrote down here, actually from David, this is one to go and speak to Tony about. I have that things that should have been done last week list. My husband has one of those, but Dave said he gets around to it the next week, so I'm just going to go and give him a little G up. But yeah, great to see you all, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone.
For a party.
Bye.
Hey.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Good to see
Bye.
you.
See ya.
Bye.
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 Bye. Good to see you. Bye.
Lisa, can I
Yeah.
ask one thing? Can
Who am I talking to?
Marion.
Hi, Marion. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm really good, thank you.
I'm just